morning and welcome to a new season of Let's Talk Portland. Each month I interview guests about initiatives underway in the Portland Public Schools to move us toward our goal of becoming the best small urban school district in the country by 2017. You're invited to join the discussion by logging on to Let's Talk Portland webpage. Today we're going to talk about two exciting new programs in our district's elementary schools and a third program open to all students we'll bring to you at a later date. My first guest is Susana Balasch, is the teacher of a brand new Spanish immersion kindergarten class here at Lyseth Elementary School. Lyseth is the first public school in Maine to offer a full immersion program in Spanish. Susana came to our district through a visiting teacher program established between Maine and the government of Spain. Susana, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, Susana, can you tell myself and our viewing public a little bit about your background?
Good morning. I have been working as a teacher in Spain during 11 years. During these years, I was teaching in immersion programs in Spain, in Catalan, and also in bilingual programs in which we are teaching 50% Spanish and 50% English in the schools. I was teaching in different grades, in kindergarten and elementary education from 3 years old to 12 years old. And I was teaching all the subjects in Spanish and not in English, because English is for English specialists. And it was one moment in my career that I decided to study a master's degree for teaching my language to stranger pupils, because I was working in a school with a high percentage of immigrant pupils that they didn't know anything about Spanish. And this is the reason for what later I decided to go abroad to teach my language to stranger pupils in other countries.
Well, welcome. We're excited to have you here in Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
Now, why is it important to start a language or teaching a language at a young age, or for students to learn a second language at a young age?
I think that children is ready to learn different languages at the young ages, and more important if there is in immersion programs, because language, it becomes to be a need to communicate with others, to communicate with children, and not only a separate thing that all day is one language and I am learning only some words about food, some words about transport, but there is no communication. So when language became a communication for children to be interacting inside the classroom, it will be more easy for them to understand and to learn the language.
All right. And why is immersion a successful approach?
Well, more or less what I explained before, because in an immersion program, pupils can use the language in a real situation to communicate with teacher in all classroom. All kinds are in this language that they are learning, and it's not only a different thing that they are doing during 1 hour or 2 hours a week.
Okay. And how are you integrating Spanish into the curriculum?
Okay, in immersion program, all curriculum is teaching in Spanish. They are only doing in her native language, music, well, specials, music, gym, arts, and library. So all curriculum is teaching in Spanish, and they need a lot of visuals, a lot of songs, a lot of manipulative, hands-on activities to understand what the teacher are saying and explaining them during the activities.
Okay, and I understand that you use theater games in your teaching. Can you explain how and why?
Yeah, I love use theater, and I have also in my head to use theater with families and involve families into the immersion program, making plays for the children. And I think that hands-on are the best activities for children to understand what they are learning, and theater is the best way to experiment the language that you are speaking and you are hands-on activity while you are acting in a play. So for children, it's more easy to understand what they are saying because they are acting in this play. So I like very much this kind of activities.
All right. And what are your goals for the program?
My main goal for the program for these child is that at the end of the year they will be ready to understand Spanish, to speak a little Spanish, and to be ready in the first grade to understand all the curriculum teaching Spanish for them.
All right. Now, you mentioned at the beginning that you taught students ages 3 through 12.
Yes.
How about adults? Can you teach me a song? Right
Yeah.
now, teach me a song. Okay.
Okay, for example, the Song of the Sun.
Song
Yes.
of the Sand, yes.
Children each morning decide, look the weather, and if there is a sunny day, they are singing a Son of the Sun. Okay, so sol, solecito, caliéntame un poquito por hoy y por mañana, por toda la semana. Luna, lunera, cascabelera, 5 pollitos y una ternera. Caracol, caracol, a la 1 sale el sol. Sale Pinocho tocando el tambor con una cuchara y un tenedor. Brum, brum.
Fantastic. All right. And hopefully you caught that and learned something. And we want to thank you for first being in Portland, Maine, and launching our Spanish Immersion program. And we will check back in with you periodically to see how it's going.
Thank you.
Thanks
you.
again.
And I encourage all schools to participate in the visiting teaching programs with Spain, because there is a very good program and there is interest in this exchange
Well, thank
among
you.
countries. Okay.
Definitely
Thank
will
you.
continue
Thank
that.
you for collaborating.
Thank you, and thank you for tuning in. All right, my next guest is Kevin Brewster, from teacher leader at Reiche Elementary School, and Norman Quinn from Portland Symphony Orchestra. Last year, Reiche teachers began working with the staff of the Portland Symphony Orchestra to integrate music into the kindergarten curriculum, specifically English language arts and mathematics. And so, Kevin and Norman, can you tell me how this has happened so far?
Sure. So this was a district and PSO sponsored initiative, and they put out an application that was open to all the schools in the district, and Reiche saw this as a great opportunity to engage the students with the arts, and so we went through the application process, and we had a team of visitors from the PSO who came and interviewed myself and some of the staff, and we put together our application, and we're lucky enough to be the recipients of this opportunity.
Sure. So far we have attended the kindergarten teacher classroom meetings in the mornings. Every Wednesday they have a meeting just to sort of recap the week or go over what will happen the following week. And so we sort of wanted to first see what the needs were of the teachers and fulfill that. We didn't want to bring something and say, hey, you guys should do this. Instead, what are your needs and what can we do for you? How can music help you teach literacy, numeracy, and writing? So that's what we've done so far. And we're about to start year 2.
All right, and I will say that this is the first, Reiche is the only district in the state that has this partnership with the Portland Symphony Orchestra. And so we're really excited about that. And as we start year 2, what are some of the plans for this coming year?
Well, as Norman said, it's been a true collaboration where the PSO has actually sent some of their professional musicians to embed in our grade level meetings, and they've seen how we assess student growth, they've seen how we plan lessons, and we've had a chance to do some trial lessons with the artists. We've started a Music in the Morning program where when the students come through the door in kindergarten, there's a piece of classical music or a piece of jazz music that's playing. With the assist of the PSO professionals, we've created some playlists so that during rest time there's a calm, peaceful piece of music playing. During writing, there's a piece that keeps a steady beat, not cacophonous, not loud enough to get them out of their seats and dancing, but something that establishes a rhythm so that they can write for an extended period of time. Also at the school-wide level, we've taken that, and our music teacher has been choosing a piece of music to play for the first minute before morning announcements. So the whole school now is starting with a piece, and there's been a thematic unit. So the first week we were listening to some music from South Africa, and then we're listening to some music from Louisiana. So Mrs. Chomsky has also been a big part of the planning process with the PSO. And in addition to working with the professional musicians, we've really incorporated our home music teacher into lesson plannings so that the music curriculum that the kids get on a weekly basis is embedded in what they're learning in the classroom.
Well, this is fantastic and exciting. Norman, do you want to add to that from
Sure.
the PSO side and what you're seeing?
Well, this year we are going to try a little bit a new format in terms of how we use our professional musicians. So for this year specifically, we're going to try to have musicians come on a monthly basis, sort of like an artist in residence, and to carry out to assist sort of with the lesson planning and carrying out the lesson plans in the classrooms, as well as bring their instruments to play and sort of show how things work, because it sort of ties into a lot of everyday activities like taking care of something or putting something in a case, a value in a case or something, or taking it out very carefully. So that's what we're doing this year. And also, you forgot to mention the ukulele part. So all the kindergarten teachers took ukulele lessons, and do you want to talk a little more about that? Because I think it's very unique.
So we had weekly lessons every Thursday for 45 minutes. And we started with just simple chords, and we were able to progress to the point where we learned a few simple songs. We're going to need some refreshers this fall to get back up to speed. I think we got a little rusty over the summer. But that was also another opportunity for us to inject music into the curriculum. So at morning meeting, the idea is that the teachers are playing the ukulele and singing some of the greeting songs or the calendar songs. And the idea is really to just have music, which is a universal language, be a regular part of our curriculum. It's something that's accessible to all students, no matter what their language level or what their preschool experience is or anything like that. It really evens the playing field and allows every student to access the curriculum.
Fantastic. And we have to bring you back to play the ukulele, and maybe some of the other kindergarten teachers from Reiche.
Yeah, there would not be a solo performance. I only play as part of a quintet.
So let me ask you this question. How do students benefit from learning about music or infusing music into the core curriculum?
So I'm going to pass this off to Norman in a second, but they're really excited that, like I said just a second ago, that it's something that's easily accessible, that no matter what culture you're coming from or what your family circumstances are, kids respond to music. They want to bang on the glockenspiel, they want to touch the drum, they want to pluck the strings. There's a tactile element to it. There's just a joy when they're presented with these opportunities. So it's really a great hook to get their interest level up and another way to get that curriculum in.
Just to kind of reiterate what Kevin said, it is a joy for, I mean, you bring this instrument in and the kids just get, wow, what is that? And then you hit it and it makes this crazy sound and they're like, oh my gosh. And so I think music is beneficial, one, because it tricks the kids into learning, to have fun, and another way to teach the curriculum. So for example, if we're teaching counting, if someone is, or if a student is struggling to count to 10, throughout the day you see these numbers, or there are different methods of teaching counting, but now that we have now that we have music as a vehicle or a glockenspiel, you can use sound as a way to count. How many times do you hear this note? Or how many different notes do you hear? instead of, how many dots do you see? It's just another way of learning. And I think that's a very powerful tool for teaching.
Earlier you had the Spanish immersion teacher, and music is just another language. It's just another access point.
Well put. And what have you seen in terms of student response thus far in the classroom or school-wide with the music at the beginning of the start the day?
Well, I feel like it really puts my kids in a nice calm place. They come in off the playground where they've been active for 15 or 20 minutes, and they come in and they hang up their things, and we have some nice, peaceful music playing, and we have breakfast together. And it sets the tone for a great day. And it really does set the mood. If you want to get the kids up, you put on something with a heavy beat, and they're just up out of their seats. So you can really use it to set the tone in your classroom. But in terms of engagement, the kids are thrilled that when Norman and Rose and the violinists come in, they're like rock stars. They're classical rock stars.
All right. And one final question. What is the goal of the program, and how does teaching music enhance students' academic growth? And that's the connection.
So one of our goals is to be able to expand through to the next grade level. That way the kindergartners that we had last year can continue with what we started with them. And eventually we'd like to expand to another school or maybe another district out in a rural part of Maine. But we really want to take it slow because it is a collaborative experience, and we don't, like I said, we don't want to push anything on the teachers. So we will move when the first grade teachers are ready, and once we've figured out their needs, because the needs of first graders are different than the needs of the kindergarten classroom. So that's sort of the overall goal, is to be able to expand, and as well as continue to be successful with where we're at right now.
So yeah, I think the PSO's goal is to grow a program that they can replicate in other schools. For Reiche, our goal is increase student achievement, and this is just another vehicle for that. Some students might respond to physical challenges. Some might excel with painting or drawing. Music is giving students another venue to be successful, and it's another pathway into the curriculum.
Fantastic. Well, I thank you. I think it's a wonderful partnership. And if you want to learn more, I invite you to reach out to our teacher leaders at Reiche and stop by, maybe visit the program. Thank you for tuning in.